Good evening, everybody. Another Monday evening. We're live. The link has been pinned in YouTube, and we are ready to go on this Monday evening. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Come on in and join us if you want to. Get this party started. Mike's in here. Michael Selly. We got Keith. We got J and DBs. Yeah, Peabody Apiary. Yeah, it's cold, cold, cold here too. I'm freezing to death. I gotta throw another lump of coal on the fire tonight. Hey JW, Roy, good evening. Still snowing up there in Michigan where you're at, Roy? Hey Tom. Well, we had a really good trip down south. Uh, we went to Charleston for 2 or 3 days. I spent one day on an aircraft carrier down there walking around, and took the wife out for a harbor cruise, and we had a good time. Had Thanksgiving at my brother-in-law's house in Pearl's Inlet, and it was very relaxing. A very needed vacation. Hey, Philip. So Braxton, come on in here if you want to. How much snow did you get, Roy, altogether? So is everybody ready for Nobby? 32 days and counting. 2 foot or more north of me. That's a lot of snow. I mean, a lot of snow. But there were times, and in Virginia, we used to get snow like that too. So, has everybody got all their pre-orders done for Nobby? Those people are starting to wind them down. We're going to wind them down on the 5th, 5 o'clock. If you're going to order anything for me, any acorn, any nail, anything like that, you need to have it to me before 5 o'clock on the 5th of December. We're shutting it down so I can start putting it all together. Has anybody read any interesting articles lately? Everybody got their bees put together for the winter, I hope. A little late now, but you're welcome, Tom. Not a problem. There's Roy. There you go,
Hey,
Roy.
better come and keep you company. Start the
Yeah,
ball rolling.
looks like my sidekick's not going to make it tonight. I don't know. Where he's at?
Let's be on mute.
I see JW's on here somewhere. There he is. He's popping popcorn. Yeah, probably. Let's hope it's where he's at. Hope he hadn't frozen to death today. 'Cause it didn't get very warm at all out here in the valley. So I'm not too sure it got very warm up there. So where'd you go, Roy? If he's popping popcorn, I hope he pops enough for me.
Hello.
There you go, Roy. You're back.
Oh, yeah. Just I got to learn to turn on the volume. I thought I'd hop in it for a few minutes till everybody else started popping in. Keep you company.
There's my sidekick. He finally made it.
Oh,
Good evening,
Hey,
Mr.
guys.
Charlie.
Hey, Roy.
we got.
So, Tom, I'll take you up on that.
I got a phone call. Hold on.
I sell Anel products, the whole line. I sell Acorn, the whole line. I sell woodenware that comes from Pennsylvania, and I sell PPE as well. It's all ventilated. What I sell. Uh, it's 3-layer ventilated PPE. So, and plus hand tools, smokers, you name it, I sell it. So, and it's all really good stuff. The boxes, people really love them. It's blind dovetail joint, one of the strongest joints in the industry. So we are an up and coming bee company, but people know where I'm at, and I want anybody that ordered off here. I want to thank you for ordering the pre-orders for Nabi. It kind of made our winter, so now we can start getting ready for spring. So I appreciate the orders. I really do appreciate the business. Hello, Nancy. I see you made it.
Yeah. Speaking of your orders, my wife paid the credit card bill today. She says I better see some money in that from that B box. Put it in the bank.
Yes, I sell 8-frame medium and 10-frame medium wood boxes. So, and I got an email from Cayman the other day. I have the chart of vendors. If you're looking for a booth number for your favorite vendor, I can tell you where it's at tonight. If you want to know, if you're not, you just walk around and find it. Our booth number is 430. So we're in the back near the loading docks, back where Hilco was last year. Hilco got moved to the front this year. So we're in the back this year. And basically, we're right across from the Acorn booth. What's going on, Nancy? You need the year to be over already. I think we all want it to be over sooner or later here. Because it's not been a good year on the farm. Two years of drought. Just this year hasn't gone well. So, any of you farmers out there can understand that, I hope. Roy, what have you been up to this week?
Oh, just trying to catch up with work and build some two-way pallets, start those. I got a case of clips coming.
Yeah.
Get there. So, I figured I want to build about 25 of, or yeah, even numbers, 24 of them. I was going to build some single bottoms, and I thought, well, I'm just going to go into the doubles in there. I got a guy who's going to make me a small hand truck to help put them on my trailer to move them to a couple places in there.
Nancy says you're too loud.
Oh,
I don't know. I can't do anything about it. I'm sure you can.
how's that, Nancy? So I'm just waiting for the clips to show up and so I can get some stuff finished up in here.
Yeah.
My daughter-in-law dropped off another project behind me.
I see that.
She thinks I'm Norm Abram from New Yankee Workshop. I tell her I'm a meat cutter by trade.
Well, she
I can
figures
glue some stuff and repair, but
if you can cut meat, you can cut wood, right?
yeah, I can do anything. I can tear it apart good. No, just the snow hit, and at just about 7 minutes north of us, probably got 3 foot or a little better in town. So we're kind of sat on the edge of the storm, so I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah. But still 2 feet plus.
We haven't seen that kind of snow here in 15 years or more.
Yeah, it's been, telling my age here, at least 35, maybe 40 since we've seen it here in Virginia. That much snow at one time. So even back when we had the blizzards in 76, 77, 78, we didn't get that much snow at one time. So you can't really call it a blizzard.
Yeah, that was a blizzard.
Yeah.
I remember the car in the front yard being covered in there, and then some.
Yep. I can remember seeing heavy equipment go down the road in front of the farmhouse pushing snow. So, and when I say heavy equipment, I'm talking about D7s and D8s, Caterpillar tractors pushing it. So we used to get some snows, but not anymore. Charlie?
Hey,
Up there.
29 degrees right now. It was about mid to high 30s all day today. That's about it. And that's pretty much going to be the whole weekend.
Yeah, the high here was 37.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. So I saw your video the other day putting your winter garb on your hives.
Yeah, it says here on my phone is 28. The computer says 29. About 38 a high today. Yeah, that's my winter wraps. Actually, let me change that. I was showing some folks. Let's see. Yep, that's it. Yep, that's my wraps. The only thing is where that spot there is empty now. It's got a nuke sitting there because I took advantage of this cold weather over the weekend. Sunday morning, I got out there, I don't know, 35 degrees, something like that. And I took and strapped the hive together and took a hand truck out there and picked it up and put it on a hand truck and rolled it down there and then stuck it on the rack. And then I took a piece of carpet and wrapped it and tied it down. I stapled the front end up with some 8-inch hardware clogs so they couldn't get out after me. And some of them come down at the front door and was peeping out like, what's going on here? And then once they kind of calmed down, I pulled that off, and then I put my mouse guard that I use. It's like 6 slots, so 3/8 by 3/8 holes that they can go in and out, and it blocks the rest of the front up as far as air, and it also keeps the mice out.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to put on those hives there, those 10 framers, but I had 4-inch 3/8 by 4-inch wide, and I'm like, I don't really have that much problem with mice, so I just left them on there. I'm like, forget about it.
there you go.
And all that stuff for now. And all, I was kind of reading some of the comments and all. Hey, Ryan. Let's see. We got JW and Roy, and we got Tom and Melissa.
Yep.
There's Phil, and Greg, and Keith. And we got Scott.
Bracken's in there somewhere too.
Who?
Bracken.
Oh, Bracken?
Yeah, he's on here somewhere.
No, Ryan, I'm not popping popcorn. I had kind of finishing up supper, and then I got a phone call from a friend. Hey, Nancy. And let's see what else. Where are we at, Tom and Melissa, on tickets for the dinner, No Life Beekeeper dinner? I think around 11 tickets left, maybe 10. Hey, Jack and Danette.
Jack and Danette. Hey, Bill.
So anyway, that's what. You got 8 left.
8 left.
All right, folks, there it is. Don't wait around. Let's see, deal all day. Trying to get my screen worked up here. There we go. Well, that's cool. Gonna have a big time there, I'll tell you that. I went ahead and bought my ticket for the Beaks and Brews and Beaks, or whatever it's called, for what is that, Thursday night? I believe it is, because our thing's on a Wednesday night. All right, let me go ahead and let me see if I can do that.
Phil's coming in. Hey, Phil.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing well. You look like you're jarring a bunch of honey up.
Well, I'm making gift baskets.
Ah,
But yeah, I was feeling bad for you because you were hanging out there by yourself, and I was trying to get my dinner made and eating.
we got through it.
Then Roy came in and kind of bailed you out. But Roy's lying to you because he said that he remembered like 1970 something. But we've already determined that Roy and I are both 29 years old, so I don't know how he could remember that.
Well, if y'all are 29, then I'm 25.
Yeah, we're both the same age, 29. We've already established that the other night.
My fan and my heater in the shop kicks on and I can't hear anything till it starts winding down. So I just sit here, nod and smile, and
Yep.
Yeah, just agree with me, Roy. Let's play it that way.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I'm just a rough-looking 29. I think I've used my body somewhere along the way.
I think we all have to a certain extent.
I've got. I was wondering what I was going to do with all the scrap of hardwood and oak and everything I have laying around here from cut-offs, and I'm going to start building some boxes over the next year, like Phil there, steal some of his ideas.
Yeah, do that.
I was talking to Big Mike last night up from New Hampshire, and
I don't know if
he's
you can see this or not. Probably too dark.
Yeah, I
taking
like those.
blow him up.
You're pretty creative, Phil.
Yeah, I'm good for more than just to look at, Bill.
Taking Bill, click on him, and you can zoom in on him. You can see
Just
it.
don't
better.
get his face in there.
That's right. Let's keep my head out of the picture, out of the shot.
On his profile, there should be like a big square for. I'm basic guy now today. I'm not an admin. See it? There you go.
There it is. There it is. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
There we go.
You got a honey, a candle, a lip balm, and a
Honey stick.
honey stick, they call it.
Yeah. Or well, yeah, honey dipper.
Honey dipper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were
Yeah, I want to make about.
Charlie.
Huh?
What's that?
Charlie was talking about Big Mike up in New Hampshire.
Oh, about New Hampshire. He was talking about he's a cabinet. I think he can make cabinets and stuff, kitchen cabinets, but he builds his own boxes. But when you got shapers and all the tools you can think of going from one thing to the next, as far as the different steps, it makes it a big difference about building your own boxes and all. He had one there that he's got set up for cutting handles where he's pushed the board into the cutter and goes over so far for different size boxes and stuff like that and everything. It was quite nice. I mean, people talk about building boxes. I mean, if you're set up to really do a precision job, it's great, but
Yeah.
most likely you can just go ahead and buy the boxes already made and be done with it. I thought, Roy, you did that too, didn't you?
Yeah, I'd still build my own equipment. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was trying to find the right price for the material in there.
Well, that was one thing. Big Mike said that he lives up there and where all that pine and stuff comes from, and he was buying like 6-foot shorts for $1 a foot, maybe. 85 cents a foot, something like that. And I was like, I said, you're buying it cheaper than I can buy it.
I got a guy I helped set up beekeeping. He lost his bees to bear about 4 years ago. So we were online and we got talking and he became a pretty good friend now, but he's, I got him back into some bees and he gives me all the 1-inch ash I want. Cuts it and we put a moisture tester on it, and I built a bunch of bottom boards out of it and, migratory lids, and they didn't shrink down. So the ones that did, I just put a little sawdust and glue in the cracks and went on with it.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing. Like I say, I finally got that one nuke that I wanted to get in there, and it's going to be cold for probably the next 7 days. And by that time, they'll lose their memory of where they were originally located at. They'll reorientate when they come back out. And I went up there today and drove by the hives, and pretty much all there was a couple bees flying. I don't know what they were about, but just a couple. And other than that, I'm talking about a bee, you know, where they were going into a hive, and the rest of them were all, you know, inside and huddled up.
It was 30 degrees and just about 30 and snowing, and sun came out for a minute. But I had bees out on the landing board, and I had a couple of them flying up my pumpkin. When I looked down, they were kind of doing some house cleaning on dead bees. So
Yeah, I have seen that where on the landing board there'd be like 3 or 4 dead bees here and there and all that stuff. So was the beach fun, Bill? Did you go out in the ocean?
Didn't go out in the ocean. It was too daggone cold to get in the water. But we did go out on the water one day and took a harbor cruise. Then we spent a day on the USS Yorktown down in South Carolina, Charleston.
Isn't that the aircraft carrier, is it?
Yep, it's an aircraft carrier. It's the second Yorktown because the original one sunk, Battle of Midway. And this one is the second, prior to the nuclear carrier, Yorktown.
That was right. It sunk in World War II, right? Japanese guys.
Yes. Yep. Japanese sunk.
I think it was over there around the Philippines or someplace.
Midway.
Huh?
Midway Island.
Was it Midway Island?
Yep.
Charlie, are you going to get more vapors in OA vapor this
Yeah.
year? Or are you going to get too cold?
Well, it's going to be cold this coming week or this week. And let me see. I did one Thanksgiving, and I think it's supposed to be 40s to 50s next week. Hopefully, maybe somewhere around the 14th of December.
It's going to be starting Sunday, it's going to be in the 50s all the way up till Wednesday, and then it's going to be in the 40s. Mid to high 40s the rest of the week.
Because we drop down into the 20s next week. We're going to keep going down for the next, 10-day forecast.
Well, if it's 45 degrees, I'll vape them.
Yeah.
I like it at 45. I used to say 48, but 48, by the time you got out there, it was one of those days where you're starting to creep up towards 50. And then that's when the bees are starting to come out of the hive. Where if you're at 45, they're still loose, and I can vape them and they're fine. So that's my game plan, at least a couple times a month. If, like this year, January was too cold, so they didn't get nothing in January. Then I hit them. I hit them twice in February. Then after that, I quit.
I got 4 rounds in every 5 days. Get there and spot up. It's the way things laid out for me in there. I heard you should put them a little earlier. Then I listened to that Cameron Jack, and he's going 5 to 7 days apart. Then you hear one, they're talking about 4 days.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you about Cameron. He was at the Maryland State. We have 4 meetings a year at the Maryland State level, and yeah, I did. I got the link is in there, and link is for the dinner. Just click on it, and it'll take you there. And all you got to do is sign up and name and email address. And Vince, don't put it in a super chat or anything like that. Are you coming to the dinner, Vince?
Tom said the link
You
didn't
say the
drop.
link didn't post? Because Can you take and put that link in there, Bill, on your end of it?
If you text it to me, I can. I don't
All
have
right.
any more.
Should be in your instant messages. Check your instant message, and it's in there. It's the last one. I sent it to you. See it at the bottom, the last one.
Trying to find you in all this mess of names I've got in here.
Want me to send it to you again? Should
Yeah,
be on.
if you
should be
don't
on-
mind,
Huh?
if you don't mind, that would be good. Then I can drop it.
All right, there you go. All right, so Vince, you are coming. Okay. Why don't you just wait until that night and then give it to Tom and Melissa? They're co-hosting. Melissa's doing all the legwork. Let me just put it to you that way. And she can take your donation.
He seems like the only Indian in that tribe. A lot of chiefs over
Charlie, Charlie is he's the celebrity draw.
Yeah, I got a phone call today here a couple of hours ago. It was from, I could see it was from Pennsylvania, and I thought it was from a bee club up there, but actually it's a guy that's about, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour away from me. And he wanted to know, I hear somebody told him that I was going to Navi. And he said, I'm going to buy an Instavat. He said, would you pick it up for me in order for him to get the discount? And I said, yeah. But then I got to talking to him and I said, are you sure you got the right size batteries? I said, that's the other half of them.
The right type.
You have to have at least, and Tom, you can tell me this, with an Instavat compact, you do have to have at least a minimum of a 5 amp hour battery. Isn't that correct? I know that was for sure on the first one.
Yep. Minimum 5 amp hours.
Is it 5 amp hour?
Yep.
Well, he didn't know all that. I said, well, you have to have a certain size battery, a minimum. And I said, they're not cheap. And I said, so he was going to call the Robbies tomorrow. He hadn't pulled the trigger on it yet.
Hey, Bill, what size battery did you have for starting that up at Instavat? How big?
I had a 5 to start with, and then I went to 18.
Okay.
18 amp hour?
Yep.
Or 18 volt?
It was 18 volt. It was either 18 or 20 amp hours because I went to the biggest battery I could get.
I think Tom, he had a one. It was like a 1 point something amp hour. And I said, buddy, it'll take all of that just to get the bowl hot. And so Brian, was it JW bumming a ride to Navi? Or maybe it was Todd. Todd maybe came out to California, from California to Colorado. Brian's going to fly, Nancy, and then drive home.
If we put a taco truck in front of Todd, we can get him all the way out there like the mule and the carrot.
Who's that? What?
Todd.
He's right.
If we put a taco truck on the front of him, he'll follow it all the way to Navi.
Some lady in Colorado.
Yep. Taco Todd.
There it is. It looks like it's in there.
It's in there.
Everybody see the link?
It works. And it is pinned to the top on YouTube.
All right. Who was asking about that? Vince. Yeah, Vince, the room's been taken care of by Bill. You can email or message via Honey, and they'll be able to take your money for door prizes or whatever. So anyway, that's I was telling that you kind of schooling that guy on that battery situation. So then that was kind of opening his eyes up. So I, it didn't seem like they went over any of that on his website.
They don't.
And I'm like, that's poor. You should be able to make sure that, don't get somebody to buy something and then, oh, by the way, it's going to cost you another $400
Yeah.
for batteries.
But now the two smaller ones, not the new one, not compact, but the other one that before the compact that was smaller than the original,
Yeah.
you could get away with smaller amp hour battery. And the compact is even smaller. So
You're talking about the mini. You got the full size, you got the compact, and you got the mini. That's that newest one out. The mini.
Yeah, mini. So there's 3 different sizes. I've got the old one, which is the largest one they make, and I sell the compacts. And hopefully I'm going to get the minis here after first of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Phil's starting to make me feel guilty here, sitting watching this thing like he's working.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm not working.
Yeah, I've got 4 of them made already.
Oh, you're talking about Phil. I'm not. He is.
Yeah, not Bill. Phil.
Yeah.
Bill with a PH.
Yeah, there you go.
So what did you say you got snow, Roy?
Yeah, we had some pretty good lake effect in there. More than I've seen in a lot of years. So in there, probably since we moved here in 2000 back to my dad's place where I grew up. But it's about 2 foot here. Then there's some places up about an hour north that had 3 foot, and there's some patches in the UP apparently that got close to 5 foot across the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
But
Hey,
I
Matt.
think that
Go ahead.
it's just wet right now. So I got a 5 foot blower behind the tractor, and she was throwing chunks.
And that's a snowblower, you say?
Yeah.
Hmm.
They used to do it all with the little walk behind 8-horse. A lot of driveway to do.
I can remember I had an open cab Alice Chalmers tractor with front end loader on it, and I'm going around these. I wasn't trying to go any place. It's 2-wheel drive, and you got a couple different neighbors. Well, go do this one for them and that one. You get done on that darn thing, and it's cold like you're talking about. Your feet are froze that you can't even feel them, and it's like even after I got the cab tractor. I did mine in my house and whatever, and that in maybe a tenant house, and that's it. And you can do this and do that. I said, I done all that stuff 20 years ago. I said, I have no desire
My son's got a Kubota L series skull cabinet, everything. I don't like it. I can't see in the thing. You know, I've had no cab for so many years. I'm trying to turn around in that thing, and because it's all back blower in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, and it the biggest problem with like a front end loader, bucket wise, you can dig up some blacktop or whatever. You got to watch out
Oh
for
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing. You'll ruin somebody's driveway.
So
Yeah, we used to when we had open cab tractors like that, Charlie. We used to take feed sacks, uh, onto the sides where the motor's exposed, so it
right.
blow all that heat back on us.
Yeah, they used to make them. What was it? Those canvases and stuff.
Yeah.
My dad was a heavy equipment operator in the oil field, and he was dozer guy. And those dozers were wide open, you know, 10, 15 below, and he'd, he'd get the snap-on sacks like you're talking to try to get some heat back.
Yep.
But
And they would blow some heat back.
yeah, he'd come home and he'd look like a popsicle, you know, after, 12, 14 hours
Yep.
or
Turn
longer.
turn the blades on that fan around so it's sucking through the radiator instead of blowing out through it. Yeah, you can get some heat off of it.
Right. Amber there, she says she's got a 20-volt, 1.5 amp hour. It'll do one hive or one treatment. That's probably because it takes the other half of that 1.5 and just to heat the bowl up. And then the biggest battery is a 4 amp hour and it'll do 10 hives. And a friend of mine just got a Provat electric. I'm sure he's got some pretty sizable batteries. He did one battery, only took half the battery. I think he did 17 hives with it. Of course, I haven't seen that unit. I've seen pictures of it, but I haven't seen it. And all that.
Well, I wasn't displeased with my 110 one, but when it went, then I still have it. I think I'm going to order a heating of the bowl for it, but I hate to spend $40 in shipping and find out that's not it.
Nah,
In there.
that darn bowl, I had to buy a new bowl, not the heating element, but just the bowl itself where that copper tube comes out.
Yep.
I think it was $35 or $40 for that darn thing, and then so much for shipping and all. And the guy that just bought this new electric job, he's going to be selling. He hasn't hardly used it, the Provat with the cord. So I'm buying that from him, and he's also kicking in sounds like to me a real small generator with it. So for $250, I'll buy it all day long.
Yep. There ain't nothing wrong with that deal.
You know, because I said, well, how often you use it? He's, well, I got 20 hives and do it twice a year. I said, 40 times. I said, I already did 60 with mine in the last 3 weeks or more. 60 or 70 uses. So
Bill, how much stuff are you going to have at the booth to see and sell? Quite a bit, or
Yeah, I'll have quite a bit of stuff there. Yep. I'm gonna
well,
bring
you're gonna have
some
a Neo
long hive
hive.
tools with me too.
what's that?
Those long hive tools, I guess they're what, about a
They're
foot or more,
15 or
Charlie?
15 inches long.
15 inches long.
That's the one I got. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like it's a J hook, but it's long. That's good for them prying jobs that you got to
Yeah.
get in.
That blue band length one, I think is. I mean, it doesn't bend for anything. I've had that since I started, but I'd like to get one with a hook on it. I just find it a little easier. I used a cheap one this year.
I'm gonna have the multi-purpose tool with a wooden handle on it.
No, it's just a flat bar.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the ones with the wooden handle there
Hmm.
as well. So I'll have some of those.
Okay.
Something to go on the table. So, but I'll have extractors. I'll have a nail hive. I'll have foundations. I'll have frames, plastic frames there. So I've got plenty to sell.
They gonna have any kind of high-low there?
Have what?
They gonna have any kind of, high-low that we can operate, or the hand truck high-low, or?
I don't know. I don't sell those.
You say a high lifter?
No, a high-low for loading trailers from the stuff we purchased from the expo.
I'll have a pallet jack there.
Okay.
You're gonna need it.
Yeah, I gotta break down the one pallet skid into two and slide it in there.
How tall is your trailer?
And trailer's, just under 6 foot.
You're gonna have to break them all, break tops off all of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Are you
I'll have
trying to-
nothing.
Are you trying to get the skid in the trailer?
Yeah, I gotta take the top off one of the skids and put it on another pallet and wrap
Now,
it.
does your trailer is that a grass hopping trailer where you has a gate folding down, or is it?
No, just the swing out door.
Is it
I thought about building a cheap ramp for it for the pallet jack, but it didn't want to haul anymore.
So it's like a dump trailer then.
Yeah.
Well, I think Cayman has a forklift that it won't cost you to load from the show to the trailer. That's what he explained on several all that.
Yeah, because I bought a full pallet of frames last year, and I bought a skid of boxes too, and I had to hand unload all of them. I mean, because there was nobody to get a high-low or to slide them into the trailer, so it was kind of a pain.
Yeah, Cayman's supposed to have, like Charlie was saying, he's supposed to have a forklift there to his disposal, and he should be able to set them up in there for you. But if you have to have the show loaded, the Fern people load it for you.
Yep.
It's $66 a hundredweight.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they have to be that. You know.
You gotta pay those union folks somehow.
Huh?
They gotta pay those union guys somehow.
We put on food shows for the company I work for, and when we go down to those big expo centers to have them set up, it's like everything costs. Hooks for signs, wraparounds for tables. I mean, I think it was $600 for a table for one of the vendors. A table.
Well, just be glad you're not a vendor, because it's expensive.
That's the problem, all that extra cost and take for the vendor to go out there. He's got to sell a hell of a lot of product in order to
You're right.
even break even.
Yep.
Hey, Bill, can you guys see what I'm doing?
I've been watching you, Phil. You got a heck of assembly on
This
that.
This is the shrink wrap, the impulse sealer and the shrink wrap before I shrink it. Seal it off, and if you're real quick, you tear it. I don't know how hot it gets. I mean, I can touch that and there's no problem. I wouldn't stick my finger in there and push it down, but I need to hit it like right, and then and then there's what it looks like.
That looks
Now,
nice.
I got one more to do, and then I'll seal them up. I'll show you guys how it seals up.
Yeah, don't you take a heat gun and do that?
Yep. Suck it down on there.
I like those little gift baskets. So that's a good idea.
Yeah, these are my $20 versions here. I was showing my $27 versions the other night. Got a 6-ounce jar of honey in it, a small candle.
And he
Six,
makes
what I call it.
makes the boxes himself, Bill.
I was going to ask him if he made those boxes.
Yeah, I do. We'll have to put them on your site. I don't know though if I want to get a big order.
I don't know. You might get a big order.
Yeah, I don't know about
How many
that.
can you fill at a time?
Oh, it doesn't take me that long if the pieces are already cut out. The little slat pieces on the side that's just remnants from when I built my frames,
Yeah.
the top bars for my frames. And I'm just about going to have enough to do my whole year with those. But I made about 400 frames, I think, something like that this year.
So Brian, you said Benny bent the ProVap tube. I didn't catch that part of it. Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the tip on the end of it, so it kind of fits underneath the front of the um, entrance of the hive.
Yeah.
Yeah, who the heck has a 3/8 entrance? I always 3/4.
Well, all mine are
Huh?
3/8 entrance. I hate putting mouse guards on, and it seems to work pretty good.
Yeah, I'm switching everything in mine to 3/8 too, just for the same reason. I got a couple of them that are 3/4, and I just can't make myself put the reducer on there. I'll probably get a mouse. All right.
Yeah, that tip looks about like mine when I used to not support it. Now, when I stick it in the rear end of the hive, I got this board with like a U shape cut out of it, and it fits right in there and holds it, and I can vape and walk on down and do some other stuff, get ready for it.
I
Here,
think
I'll show you.
Oh.
Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna show you how I seal these up.
Oh, yeah. Keeps everything in the box nice and pretty. That looks good.
It'll create a little bit of a bubble until you pop it.
Or melt a candle.
But that shrink wrap will really shrink up quite a bit. That's what you end up with.
That
Nice
looks
little package. Nothing moves around much.
Yep.
my wife used to make fruit baskets for one of the grocery stores we worked for, and those commercial heaters like you got there. You hit your hand with one of those, you go.
This is just a Harbor Freight $10 jobber.
Yeah, we got one that's more like, looks like a yellow, like a DeWalt. I forget what it is.
Thing gets hot though.
That's what I use, Pete, 1/4-inch hole in the back. Something like that. What were you saying, Bill, about those anneal hives that you're trying to get the owner to do something to them? Make something.
Trying to get him to make a 6 frame or an 8 frame. So that way, when you put a 2 frame feeder in it, you've got 6 frames. So you basically got a nuke. And maybe get him to put a hole in the back side of it for these probates.
Well, that's what I've been looking at all these different models, all those, insulated type hives. And not one of them has a port for a ProVap that's not going to melt or burn. And I'm like, it's like as bad as when I bought my extractor. I went up to Man Lake, and me and Lloyd were talking about it, going up there to get it, along with some other bee supplies for him. And I said, you would think that they could figure out how they could slope that bottom of that extractor to run the honey around and right out the darn door. You wouldn't have to tip it. And then here comes Hilco with their design, and they finally did it. And I'm like, that's one of the biggest selling points of that unit that gets sold. And why everybody else, can't seem to figure that out is beyond me.
Well, all the siding extractors have a cone in them. Every one of them.
Yeah, but I mean, now you're starting to see that, but it took forever for anybody to figure that out. Now it's like these insulated hives. I'm like, you got to vaporize the hives. These manufacturers know that. So why aren't they, making a port in the rear end or up in the roof or in the lid? So it either blow it down from the top or blow it from the bottom up. You would think. I know Doug out there in Canada, he's got some insulated hives, and he uses migratory lids that he builds out of wood, but he put the rim, and I'll say probably 3/4 of an inch rim around underneath that migratory, and he bores a hole in there and he sticks that prolap in there and blows the smoke from the top down.
Mm-hmm.
And I would think, maybe that's even a better way, if and all that. And I thought, yeah, I know they sell a sleeve, but why should I need to use a sleeve? The manufacturer ought to, they got everything else built into the damn thing. You might as well have that built in there. And all they got them, designed for feeders, where you have the lid over the feeder, and they got them designed for pollen traps built into the bottom board and all that. And then the other complaint I have, I seen one that did have handles on the side of the box, but that was polystyrene. I'm figuring my hive lifter wouldn't lift that up. Probably break the holes out.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those polystyrene hives. I mean, they look strong, but when you start lifting them with a lifter, I mean, it could tear them right apart.
And that's like Brad there at darn sleeves, $25. It's like, that's a little bit much, I think.
Well, there's with the compact you get I believe it's 2 sleeves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where I'm at, Pete. Is just stick with the wood and either put carpet around it or put some insulation around it if it's that bad. But, huh?
Golf? You play golf?
Do I?
Yeah.
No.
All you gotta do is drill your hole when you finish vaping, pull the vape out, and slide a golf tee up in it.
I got a hole drilled in all of mine. I don't put the golf tee in there. I thought about all that stuff, but the bees come out the back. They'll come out. I got it big enough where it's it's a little loose for that quarter or that copper tube to go in there after burning it out a little bit, and they'll come out the rear end. They'll come out one at a time. I'm like, I could care less. Now, is that a box that you get, a gift box that goes with it?
No, it's just a transport. That's all it is. I need to buy some shallow bins if I can get one more in there. Let me go ahead and make another one. I'm gonna make a bunch more, but I got enough to make 10.
Well, you'll sell that out in the first 10 minutes.
I hope so. My son's going to market on Wednesday. Let's see. Step in front of you guys a minute.
I need a drink.
everybody's mesmerized with Phil making his boxes.
Provide a little entertainment for people.
Yeah.
So my biggest problem right now is I'm out of wax. I'm waiting on. I ordered some from. Oh, I keep forgetting the name, but it's those people that Mike Berry was promoting.
Oh, okay. So Amber, yeah, that's new. Something new you get with the compact. You do get 2 sleeves with, and you get 2 OA cups. You get 2 OA cups as well. The rubber OA cups.
I'm just mesmerized watching Phil work.
Yeah.
I'm in charge for this.
You're Charlie. You have your own fans page. Fox
Yeah. Yeah. Craftiness. People that get turned on by craftiness. Hey, if it pays the bills, I'll do it. I don't care.
There you go.
You know, look, I really like these pine cone candles.
Is that a pine cone or a skep?
That's a pine cone. I have the skep too. That's the skep. They're both are smaller. It's only like an ounce and a half of wax in that skep, and I think there's 1.7 ounces in that pine cone.
What do you get for the candle size?
I'm selling that size for $6, and then I'm selling a bigger one. The bigger one's for $8, and then the even bigger ones than that, which I don't think I have any. Well, this is kind of one. For $10. I don't sell many candles until I start doing these gift baskets, and then I move a bunch of them. Because I make some of this honey I don't have, like the Capel spring honey. They have to buy a gift basket or either a sampler set to get it. So that's the only way to get it is to spend a little extra on the gift basket.
So
I tell them
Amber wants to know what size wicks you use or a part number for them.
Say that again.
Amber wants to know what size wicks you use or a part number for them.
Well, the wicks, I don't really know what size this is. It came with the moles, but when I ordered my wax from oh gosh, I can't remember what the thing is called. I need to get their name. When I ordered my wax from them, I did order wick, and I ordered a number 1 and a number 2 size based on just recommendations I saw. And I'm thinking this is about a number 1, but I don't know for sure. It came with the molds that I bought. But they said I think a number 1 is supposed to get you from like 0.9 inches. They do it in diameter up to like 1.4 inches, and then number 2 is 1.4 to like 2 inches is the recommended size for your cotton wicks.
Oh, so the taller the candle, the higher weight of the. Okay.
No, the wider, the diameter of it.
The diameter. Okay.
Yeah, I think you want more heat coming from your wick. The larger it is, so it'll melt evenly as it goes down. Otherwise, it probably just melts a hole right down through the middle. That's just my caveman brain thinking about why that would be.
I mean, I don't think your caveman brain is too far off because it all sounds reasonable to me.
But they come in like 5 different sizes of wicks. There's like a 3/0, a 2/0, a 1/0, a 1, a 2, a 3. It's kind of like shotgun shells, I guess.
Yeah.
But I ordered the 1 and the 2 wick that's coming with the wax because I'm getting pretty low on my wicks too. Let's see, I had just a little bit, yeah. That's all the wick I have left.
Too bad Darren's not on here tonight. I'm gonna have to email him and let him know. But my splits class is scheduled for February 15th at the store, and it's going to be posted on Facebook starting on the 30th.
So for these little, oh, I call these honeycomb, but you see these little square ones that have that pattern? They're cubes. I use this hemp wick, which is real thin, but because it's a waxed wick, I can do this cute little, can you guys see that cute little curly Q at the
Yep.
top of it?
Yep.
And I don't know if this is size, this is probably way too small of a wick, but I had somebody buy this and said they burned the whole thing with it. So I haven't burned one yet. I probably should burn one of each just to test my product, but I haven't. I think
Well, Charlie,
Bruce's Bees put out a video on burning one of his candles and timed it.
Charlie, you gonna make that road behind you twice as big or the spring or?
What's behind me?
Oh, your picture of all your beehives. Your background.
Make it bigger?
Yeah, are you gonna expand and double those hives or?
No,
Nope.
right now I have enough space for 28 hives. So I got 16 10 framers and I can have a space for 12 nukes. And I can there's racks in behind those for like mating boxes and stuff like that. So I'm not sure just exactly what I'm going to I need queens for this next coming year to replace the ones I put in this year because they'll be 2 honey seasons old. And so I want to raise my own queens, maybe get some stock from Bill. And there's another guy up the road here, maybe try to get something from him. They sound be quite gentle bees. And do some of my own.
I got one. If anybody can answer me, that those mating nukes, the little ones.
Mhm.
How many bees do you got to throw in there to get them to draw comb and get them ready for, putting queens in there to get mated and those little styrofoam ones.
1 to 2 cups of bees.
1 to 2 cups.
Yep.
And how long does it take to draw the wax out? I guess you got to feed them 1 to 1.
Days. It's just a couple of days and they'll have it drawn out.
Oh,
Because the frames are in it are like 3.5 by 3.5, maybe 4 by 4, and there's only 4 frames in it. And then in the back of the mini mating nuke, there's a reservoir for sugar water or fructose syrup, whatever you feed, liquid feed, and they'll get it.
Are they worth looking into? Or if I'm making, let's say I'm only making, 20 queens at a time.
I would say no. That's my opinion of that.
Okay.
No.
I think you would only fool with those if you were selling queens.
Yes.
Lots of queens.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Yeah, I mean, what I bought, what I have is I made 2 frame mating boxes for myself. Hey, James. And that way I can use a standardized frame. But then I've thought about maybe I should have made them 3 frames. Well, if you make them 3 frames, you're only 2 frames off from a 5 frame box.
Yeah.
So you might as well get a 5 frame box if you want to make 3 frames and put a filler block in there. Whether it's a piece of styrofoam or maybe a follower type, some type of a follower board. in there that you can make that's pretty tight around the edges to kind of keep them to one side. And I've heard
And if you're going to make a 5-frame, you might as well make a 6-frame with a divider in the middle and go back to 3 on each side.
There you go.
I could just
Actually-
take my 10-frame equipment and, groove a.
That's what I'm doing. That's where I'm going this year with mine. I just threw that in, but yeah,
Yep.
like it's kind of like chasing your tail sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
I sold a few queens year before, and I didn't have any. Wasn't able to sell any this year. I had a few people asking, so I thought about getting ahead of it again this year.
So Roy, I came up early on with the mini mating nuke system where I could actually take the little mini mating nukes and put them inside of a full size frame, so I could convert them from those to full size hives. And even that was a real pain in the butt, so I just abandoned that. I'm just doing nukes, but I do exactly what Charlie was telling you. That's what I did last year. I just took a 5-frame nuke and threw a feeder in the side of it, which basically takes up the room of 2 frames. I didn't even put food in it. I put a food frame and a couple of brood frames and raised the queen in there, and then pulled the feeder out and added frames after they've gotten mated.
Yeah, we've got 30 of those plastic mating nukes set up, those mini nukes, and 84 or 85 styrofoam mating nukes set up.
I think that's valid if you're trying to produce and sell queens, but beyond that, I wouldn't fool with them.
Yeah, they're really not worth it because you have to change the bees in it so often because you want nurse bees in that mini mating nuke, and you figure you might get 3 queens through it before you have to change it out. And put new
Well, now
bees
when
in.
I go to Georgia, they got those. They're like little mini. They're mini. They're two queens per box, and they're about 10 inches square or something like that, with a feeder in the middle for both sides. And as far as, I mean, they might prime them with a cup of bees, but usually they'll have 2 or 3 frames in there, and if it's got cat brood in there, they just let it hatch out.
Yeah, you can do it that way, but it's easier in the long run to switch the bees out yourself because those little 4x4 frames, you're not going to get that many bees off.
Yeah,
They're not going to raise enough bees to repopulate that hive continuously. Eventually, you're going to run out of bees.
and if they do populate it enough if they're going to try to swarm off on you.
Yep.
I think I got a market up here for just the hobby beekeepers because I get quite a few calls in there.
Once
had a few
once
people.
you find out you either sell nukes or sell queens, your phone, you don't have to advertise.
No, I sell nukes already. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about just going from 185 to 200 this year.
Nukes are money.
Yes, they are.
Mm,
No, I mean, no, are $185 or 185 nukes.
$185 a nuke around this area.
Now around here it's $200.
200 plus. If you're under
Minimum.
200, you're not making any money.
200, 225.
Yep.
You got to put it in a pro nuke. It's 225. You get your 25 back if you bring the pro nuke back. And all that.
Nancy, I'm proud of you.
I'm out of candles.
We actually saved you some money.
But yeah, I like queens. They're 3 months out of the year, and I don't know. I get more satisfaction out of making queens. To me, it's like a game between you and the bees. and the bees tell you whether or not you're any good and whether you win the game, by how many, graphs are accepted. And then you get the other part of the game is, did you get your queen to come back and get mated and come back and lay up a nice frame of eggs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cat brood.
Yep.
To me,
It does
that's
make
more,
you good when you see that happen.
well, it's more gratifying. And I enjoy that a lot.
Nuke hives are a lot of work.
I got $45 a queen 2 years ago. I sold about, I think I, 15 queens went out, and I had some more people that wanted them later on. I couldn't get enough of them. Last year, I just turned them down because I had needed to rebuild a little bit.
Yeah. They always want, people don't realize, understand the time frame in order to get that queen mated and back and all that stuff. And the later you go, the harder it is.
I always tell them I'm not selling it till I look at the laying pattern. And after that, it's yours if it's good.
Yep.
Well, it's like I bought a queen and put her in that hive that's empty right now. That put that nuke where it's at. And when you get closer to like September or whatever, very hard to get that queen to be accepted and everything else. You might as well just combine the hive and be done with it.
Yep. So the way we do it is after they come back from getting mated, they come back to that mini nuke. We take her out. We have a 5-frame nuke set up already. We dump nurse bees in it, put her in it, and let her go to town. And that way we can see her true laying pattern. And if it's not acceptable, we give her 2 weeks. Get straightened out, get laying pattern going. If she's not producing a good laying pattern, she gets pinched. We don't even sell her. There's a lot more to raising queens than everybody thinks. Especially when you're raising a large number of them. And the way we mate, we raise a very large number of queens at a time. So it's a lot more to it than you realize. Because you got that time pattern you got to hit every time.
You cook that chicken?
Hmm?
Did you cook that chicken?
I'm on. People might hear you screaming at me. Be careful.
Yeah, we'll take
Have
fried
chicken for
chicken.
dinner. Are you having chicken for dinner, Phil?
Yeah, I'll take one.
I'll take
I had some chicken. We had a piece in the refrigerator that's been in there for I don't know how long, and I went ahead and cooked it and ate it. So if I get sick, I'll let you guys know.
I just want to clear no chicken for me, please.
I don't know. I mean, I'll have to say that Pete's right as far as the money aspect, but I don't know. I just like messing with the queens.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I like messing with them too. I like raising queens, but
Yeah, and
when I found somebody that does it commercially and partnered with them,
I just keep, I sell some queens, I sell some nukes, and of course the honey, and I just reinvest it back in. Really, I just keep buying more equipment, more stuff I want in there.
Yep, understand that totally. We might be looking at a modeling line next year.
Where are they? Where are they?
need to maybe mute him, Bill. Mute Phil.
What's that?
There you go.
Bill
Oh,
might be getting beat back there. I don't know.
I was wondering, beginning to wonder, all over a piece of chicken.
but oh, I don't know. I mean, I've been selling nukes, and I don't know. I guess that's like everything else. It all gets old. I like making nukes as far as, I like seeing that queen develop and,
Yeah.
turn into a big hive and stuff, or a nuke hive, whatever.
Yep. I sold 65 nukes last year, and I won't ever do that again.
Too much work.
A lot of work, more than we had time to do.
Hmm.
So
Well, that's kind of about where my biggest problem is getting the people to come and pick them up and everything else. Dealing with that. And then also the stress load of, hey, did I get enough nukes through the winter in order to fill the orders?
yep.
And that kind of stuff. That's a killer.
So
I just
if
don't. I don't
sell
take any
at all-
pre-orders.
If I sell any at all, it's not going to be by pre-order. It's going to be when I have them, they're for sale.
Yeah, I guess so. Sometimes I think honey is easier to sell.
Yeah, honey kind of sells itself.
It's just, to me, it's like, here's the money, here's the honey, and see you later. I'm done.
Yep.
The main thing I find, or at least it's what I'm turning my business into, is that my business, I don't have to please anybody, or I can do all my work when I need to do it. And I don't have to have any spare help to do it.
Very
It's
good.
nice to have it, but you ain't going to get any.
No.
And so that way, when I know, it's like a guy that helps me out. I wanted a baby's hives, and it's like, I'm coming over. Well, then he had something else to do and all that, and I hadn't gotten there yet. Now it's too cold, and I'm like, I'm trying to do you a favor, and you still can't figure that out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So that's what, that way I can do the queens on when I want to do them. I got the resource highs. If one of them goes down, oh well, it doesn't matter.
There you
All
go.
I got, and as long as I can, my main thing is getting 16 honey hives up and running and at full blast, and I can make somewhere around 1,500 pounds of honey for the year. That'll be fine with me.
Yep.
I don't seem to get those supers on them quick enough. We get a maple bloom, and I'm just always afraid I'm giving them too much room on top, but I've got drawn comb. So I think I'm going to drop them on early.
Maple bloom, they're going to eat that right up right away. They might store some of it, but you're not going to get it out of a honey crop. And then if my bees are banging like I hope they're going to be, like they were 2 years ago before my crash this year, I'll put probably 2 supers on right away, or like at the end of March. And of course, now where you're at, weather conditions are probably a lot different.
Yeah, I just based off what you were talking about the other night, I think I'm about 4 weeks difference than you in there. I think by end of April, third week in April, I could start putting a couple supers on.
Is that right?
Mm.
Yeah, we're starting to bring some. I mean, not a whole lot in April, but some.
Yeah, because my big flow won't start until June. The big stuff.
Oh, really? Now, see,
Yeah.
our main flow is May, and all,
Yeah.
and then it tapers off in June.
Yep. Towards the end of June, the flow is starting to stop.
Well, it rained so much last year. It's just every time you turned around, it was raining every 3 or 4 days. In there, no flying. I don't know what that does to the nectar. Just I think it doesn't help based off what I've listened to, but
Yeah,
No, it
Pete,
doesn't help.
Pete, I agree. That's the biggest problem I had. Was one of the problems I had was just what you stated. You know, you got to give them a 15-minute lesson every time they pick a nuke up,
Yep. Right.
or they pick the nuke up and they think they can dill dally around before they get back home.
Yeah, they want to stand there and talk.
Well, let's put it in the trunk and cook it, or let's
Yep.
go to breakfast after we get one and cook it then,
Yep.
and all that stuff. So, but anyway, that's what I found. That's why I switched gears, and I don't know. I think it's going to be good. That's just like myself. Right now, I'm going in the winter about 23, 24 highs. And I don't know. I could do 28, but I'm like, you know what? I really like that number 24. You know, it's easy to do and quick. You can get done quick and be done with it for the weekend or the day, depending on what you're doing.
oh, I had 46 still doing all right. They got some weight on them in there. So I got a couple of them I think aren't going to make it, but I just couldn't get the mite load knocked down on them. I did some OA pads in the spring and I did treat them. I tested them also, where the mites were 3, 4, one was at 6. I thought, and I'll tell you, the one with 6 didn't go up. It was the lower mite count ones, which of course everything's under the capping. So it's like we talked about. I don't know if you get a good read on that or not in the spring, but it blew up. I mean, by the time I got the treatment on them in August, that one was walking dead.
Well, it's like you were saying in the spring. That's like with the guy on Benny. What's his name? He's talking about the extended release, and he said that mite treatment washes. I think it was May and June. He said you might as well not even do them because they're inaccurate. Because he washed at zeros and ones within so many months. He's up at 74 of them because he didn't treat and whatever.
That's why I'm using the Formic. I'm going to do the one pad just before honey flow or just into June. I'll get them on it, and I got to get them knocked down before I get into August, because they're just trying to get Apogard in August. I waited to pull honey until almost the third week of August this year, and I was tough trying to get 2 treatments on in there, just the temperature wise, being too cold. And
August is too cold.
Well, yeah, it wasn't too cold. Excuse me. It was like when I did the mite washes and looked at them again. I'm already into September, and I was afraid of taking the queen out. What do you do then if I kill her with too much Apogard? So I kind of threw the dice this year and hit them with oxalic acid 4 times, and we'll see what we got.
My treat was Formic Pro in September because it's cool.
I could use Formic in June, no problem, and sometimes July if I have to.
Really?
Yeah, we don't. It's not like we're getting into the hundreds. I mean, we may get into the 80s and low 90s sometimes, but
that when you get into the 90s, it's quite. I wouldn't even put it on there.
No. But I mean, I can do it in June and even July in there.
Well, that's what I'm going to try to do is put the Apogard in there earlier June instead of waiting until late June and have it in and off by early July and off by early.
Yeah, because come end of August, I want them down to 1 or 2 mites or zeros. That way, I can be a little more comfortable going into the end of the year.
Yeah, I just, I usually do a treatment in July, August, a treatment September, which is formic. So now I'm going to do AprilGuard. So I got to kind of figure out, all right, I need to put that AprilGuard on early July if I can find a nice temperature range there. Probably, I'm sure a half dose.
I'll do the 2 half doses this time in there. I had enough ones that I pulled full doses on, and the temperature was right. Didn't kill anything. I mean, they
Now,
handled it pretty
what was
well.
the when you did full dose 50-gram doses? What was the temperature? You remember?
It was high 70s, low 80s in
Yeah,
there.
that's really good. Yeah, that's where you 2 doses and you're done.
I just keep watching that 10-day forecast in there. And the last guy they had on the chat was talking about using it in that window, which we thought was be too high for his area, but he was watching the weather in there. Well, I'm gonna hop off and I got a couple things I got to get done yet for work tomorrow, and I appreciate you letting me come on.
Yeah, Roy, anytime. Come on in anytime.
You guys have a good evening.
Yeah, you too.
Work a little faster, will you?
See you later, Roy. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome. I'm here all week.
Oh my!
Yeah, it's been a long week already. Still making me feel bad because we stand there doing all that work.
Hey, I'm
Yeah.
almost finished, man. Almost got 11 of them done. That's $225. No, these are 20 each, right? Yeah, these are 20. So that's, I don't know, whatever that is. 220.
Yeah, 220.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of an issue. I'm about out of honey, and this guy called me and wants me to sell him a lot of honey to use in this fancy restaurant over in Fort Worth. And I'm gonna have to tell him the only way I can sell it to you is you pay me the same amount I get for putting it in jars. And if he'll go for that.
Huh. You think you'll go for that one?
If he wants to, he'll have to. Not much else I can do. I'm not gonna sell it to him. Under like heck, I get like $14 a pound. Before I even put it in the jar.
Yep.
Yeah. And I add a little bit, like a couple of dollars per jar for the jar and the label and stuff. It's all glass. And when I break it down into these little tiny jars like this, I even get a lot more.
What are those 3-ounce jars you said?
These are 4-ounce volume, but they hold 6 ounces of honey. They're exactly like the smaller, like 2-ounce jars you get on Amazon.
Yeah.
They're just taller.
Okay.
They're like twice as tall. I did the 2-ounce ones in my sample set.
You going to enter a honey show at Nobby's?
No, I did the black jar last year with my Richland honey, but I might do that I might do the black jar if I do anything. Do they have a gift basket category?
I don't know.
If they did, that might be kind of cool to do, one like this and then one next to it that's already open with the you know, that doesn't have the plastic on it right next to it.
Yep.
Oh, God.
But y'all hear my dog barking?
Yeah, barking up.
That dog hardly ever barks, so I don't know what's going on. Let me go see if I can calm him down. You can mute me if you want to, Dead Bill.
So are you
There-
just going for the fun of it this year to go to Nobby, Charlie, or
What's that?
are you just going for the fun of it? Are you going to enter anything in the honey contest or anything?
I don't do honey contests. I did that in Maryland one time. That was enough. They couldn't add up the damn numbers right, and they put me at 0th place, and I was at 3rd place by the numbers of a $2 prize. And I'm like, I didn't read the rules, and I'm not really going after the competition of it, you know,
Yeah.
because it's all for looks. It doesn't worry about the taste or anything else. And I'm like, all right, that was one and done. I was done with that crap. I go there for the show, go there for some classes, and we got our party going on. Along with I've got the ticket for the Brews and Beaks thing just to hang out with people, to maybe meet more people
Yeah.
from different areas. That's on Thursday night. And then Friday night, I'm going over to the Highs for Heroes, me and Pam, and well, they got a bluegrass band, so we'll be doing some dancing. Hopefully. We'll do a bit of clogging over there
There you go.
and all. That'll be fun. And all that. And kind of get my name out there a little bit more. I mean, there was a lot of folks, you know, I got to meet this year, going, you know, walking down the line to go into the place after I had did a video intro video for my video for the show. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do anything for the show. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do that this year or not. You know, you don't really get a lot of what would you call it? Views, I'll say. I want you more than what you know. If you don't put it out there ahead of everybody else, the more of those go out, the less views you get, because there's so many of them and all that. So, that's, you know, it's a vacation for me, and I get to meet everybody in the chat here if they come out. That's why Melissa and myself and Tom and you know, about the pizza party. Ricky Rourke put it on last January, had 40 of us there, and it was nice to be able to meet everybody from the chats.
Yeah.
And all that. So, and that's what it's really all about for me is the camaraderie and the community we've developed amongst ourselves, even though we're thousands of miles away from each other.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. So that's my main thing. And I got, you know, a couple case of frames from Acorn Frames.
Yep.
And I might pick up a vaporizer for that guy if he buys one. I got 20 pounds of pollen patties ordered through Cayman. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder whether they're worth it or not, you know, to even put patties period on. But
it does help in the early spring.
You know, I mean, I have Apis in the feed right now. I know that works for sure. I really like Global patties. They're way better than any other patty I've ever seen.
Right.
And they're nice and soft and pliable. And so I get 2 boxes of them. That's good price, $1.90 a piece for a pound. And that's about half price. And I did. Let's see. I got a few other little small items I actually bought today, pre-bought, and I really don't have anything else to buy this year. I'm pretty much good on my mite treatments. I have stuff left over that will, still be in hasn't expired. I got Formic Pro for next year. Signing autographs. Hey, Doug. Yeah, I don't know. It was
Never
pretty
know.
darn, huh?
You never know.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, it was pretty darn nice to be able to. That line was from the front door. What was it? A quarter mile long at least.
Yep.
And when you're walking down that line, people are saying, "Hey, Sawmill Charlie," and "Hey, Sawmill," and I'm from this state and this country. And, you really don't realize how much you either help people by maybe some of my videos that help stuff people to do things, or they just, enjoy having you on a talk show type of thing. I
Yeah.
know that we have a pretty much of a core group here from one day to the next when it comes to the nightly chats. And then people get kind of withdrawals when they don't have them, at least after a couple of days
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. But, just that's what I'm going out there for, more or less, more of a vacation thing for me. That's what I've been talking to you about, like alternate other places to go. To be quite honest with you, I kind of get bored. I'd like to go out there to Tom and Melissa's thing, even though it's a month later, but it's so far away. And pretty much everybody who's going to be there was at Nobby anyway, where I'd rather be, like you say, the Virginia area, like let's say around the Interstate 81 area.
Yep.
Something in that area. Like you're going to have a grafting class in April, I believe it is.
I believe that's what it is. I got to look at the schedule.
Somewhere's in that neighborhood, and that I'll definitely want to come to that.
So,
Yeah, Tom and Melissa, I'd like to come out there, but I'm not sure whether I would just rather just fly out on that one. But then you're at the mercy of the damn airplanes anymore.
yeah, you're right.
And they're never.
Yeah, you learn a little bit about Charlie. Like he's got a really nice wife. You would never expect that, right?
Yeah, I've met her. She is really nice.
Yeah, I got to eat dinner with her. But Charlie was visiting with the other folks, and I was visiting with her and William. I guess it was William from Dry Cut was there. That was a fun night.
He was standing there waiting to get in, and I waved him over there. We had a big enough table where he was kind of by him lonesome, But William was always in the chats too, especially on Bob's side.
I haven't seen any videos from him in a while. I don't know if it's just not coming up on my feed or what it is.
I don't think he's doing a whole lot. I think a lot
He
of
made some
times,
pretty neat videos.
there's a lot of guys that I used to watch that don't put out the videos anymore. I guess you might say they get tired of it. And, it's like myself, the first year I tried to put one out every week. And then this year it's like, you're kind of like, it's the same. It's like Mike Berry was talking about, I'm showing the same stuff every year, maybe just a little bit twisted, a little bit different, but it's still the same procedures, I guess you would say. But, people seem to like it, I think.
Yeah, I was reading an article today on the Terranov board split.
What is it?
The Terranov board split.
Oh,
It's a Russian split.
Is that where you make them walk up over a hill and down into a thing or something like that?
You put a board out in front of it, and then you put a sheet over the board and hang a
Yeah.
towel underneath of it.
Yeah, I seen.
Take all the bees out of your hive onto that, and the ones that are going to stay go back to the hive, and the ones that are going to leave, that we're going to leave in the beginning, they stay on the sheet with the queen. And then you just pick the sheet up. Once they settle down on the sheet, you pick the sheet up and you dump it in a new hive box.
So Nancy, you say out to St. Louis with a hotel is $1,000 for 2025. You mean?
What's $1,000?
You're muffled there. What'd you say, Phil?
I said, what did she say was $1,000?
Nancy was thinking about going to Missouri out there where Tom and Melissa
Oh,
of the St. Louis trip, air and hotel was $1,000.
oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably what Nobby, more than that, probably. Nobby, my airplane ticket was going to be about $425 if I fly.
And that's a month after Navi.
Yeah.
Yeah, Navi's. Yeah, I guess by the time you pay for the motel rooms and all that, it's about $1,000, I guess.
I was thinking about going up there to Missouri too, and thinking it was closer, but it's still about a 10-hour drive for me. They're in the north of St. Louis.
I would say, Mark Miller, that if you wanted a 32 frame extractor, that you call up John, and he'll probably have cut you a deal on that like he done in Nobby. And Nancy says Nobby's $1K too. Last year wasn't so bad for me because I had some free lodging, but this year I'll have to pay for it. But
Hey, Mark, are you dead set on a 32 frame extractor?
I don't know.
Ooh. Oh, sorry guys, I'm getting tired.
Yeah, I'm kind of right behind you there, even though I didn't really do a whole lot today. You got a 32 to sell, Bill?
I've got a 42 frame right now for $1,025.
Did you hear that, Mark?
Wow.
It's a guy ordered the wrong extractor, and
That's a great deal.
it
That's
shipped
a
direct to him. And
That-
when he got it, he put it together and he said, "This isn't what I ordered." So we got to checking records, and it's what he ordered, but it wasn't what he wanted. So we took it back, didn't charge him anything, and got him what he wanted. So I have a 42 frame extractor.
Yeah, I paid $1,300 for my 20 frame.
So, Mark, are you saying it won't fit in your honey house, a 42 frame?
Yeah.
I've got a 27 frame too. And the 27 frames are
Yeah, but I don't think he wasn't for sure he's going to come to Nobby.
that can be worked out. That's not a problem.
that was why he's going to maybe go to their conference because it was.
Hey, Mark, you guys are going to have to read it for me. How far north of 40 are you? Interstate 40.
I got a
I know
27,
generally where he is.
I got a 27 frame full size extractor for $22.50.
You got a what? How much? 2250.
Yeah, 27 frame.
He says he's 100 miles north of 40.
Okay.
And
I
Matt,
don't know if you want to drive down to 40 and catch a ride with me. We could help each other drive. I think he knows how to do long haul driving. I'm not sure.
yeah, Bill, and what's Matt want? Morris Harmstead. Hey, Bill, what is the link pin go to? That's to get in to come on to the link up at the top is to
To get into the dinner.
that's for the dinner for out there at for the pizza or the dinner and for Nobby. You want to repin your be able to get in? Why don't we do that?
Yep.
Good night, Nance.
Night, Nancy.
There's the StreamYard pin, Matt.
Yep, StreamYard's at the top.
Yeah, come on in if you can.
I was looking at the screen here and I was like, I don't have a beehive inside my house. I don't think. I almost looked over my shoulder. So I realized what was going on there.
All right, go ahead. You can join there. Oh, there's Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Bill, I was tired of texting there. I figured I'd just come on and answer questions.
You in your truck? Where are you? Looks like you
Yeah, I'm
might be in the truck. Yeah.
sitting in Russellville. Bill, a 40 framer's not going to fit through the door. I'd have to tear a wall out to get it in.
Okay. I got a 27 frame, full size 27 frame for $22.50. And I can
What
go
kind? What kind is it? What brand?
Savan.
Sir?
It's a Savan.
Okay.
It's all some sort of steel or stainless steel, food grade stainless steel. There's no plastic in it other than the lids and the knobs for control. That's it. There's no plastic in the basket whatsoever. And the valve is metal, is steel as well.
Mm.
And it's on my
Hey,
website. You can see it.
I can get that 32 framer in. It's going to be just right at the max of what I can get through the door.
Yeah.
The Hillco one. And he's got it at Nobby's price for $2,000. I was kind of like hoping he might honor that at St. Louis. I don't know if he would or not.
This one will go through a 36-inch standard door.
You can ask him. John's pretty easy to get along with.
So
I called about it once and got one of his little salesmen somewhere. She was off in Kentucky somewhere. Some girl.
I called there. John picked up the phone. It surprised me.
Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. If I was going to Nobby, I'd just pick it up there. But I'm not going, I don't think. It's just the time, really, when they're having it screwed up. For me.
Yeah. You said you're in Russellville, is that Arkansas?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, if there's anything I can do for you, Mark, just let me know.
All right, I've got your number, Bill.
All
I
right.
might call you tomorrow.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, Matt, if you want to join in, the StreamYard link is up. So you say you're in Arkansas right now?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Just got done eating a big plate of lasagna.
At the truck stop, huh?
Yeah. Denny's.
Denny's?
Danny.
I'll probably have heartburn tonight.
No doubt in my mind.
It's all right.
Where you got to go tomorrow with that truck?
I just gotta stop in Little Rock and then I'll go home. I gotta drop there at 8 o'clock in the morning and then 4 hours from the house. I'll be home by lunch, a little after.
He's backstage. No.
I don't see him.
Who's backstage?
Mark or Matt.
Matt.
Okay.
There you no, that's
That's JW.
JW.
here's
Mark, I'm just kind of texting here, and I actually can't speak for him, but you called John. Hang
He's
on.
breaking up there, I think.
I got about half of that, JW.
Yeah, he's breaking up.
no,
I said
we
I
got
can't speak for John, but I'd about bet you money that if you ordered it and told him you'd like to have it come to St. Louis instead of Nobby, he'd accommodate you. I'd almost bet you my life, you know. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I get home, get situated where I can go ahead and pay him right there, and have him bring it to me.
That's basically the only reason I come on here was to tell you that. That's none of my business, but I'm sure some folks did that last year, and he brought it to St. Louis when he came down there a month later from Nobby. They ordered Nobby for their discount.
Right.
I had, in fact, I ran on to him at a convention. I told him what I wanted for Nobby, and he said,
Hey.
"Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you the discount. That's for he even come up with his sale brochure for the Nobby. So he's very accommodating, and I'm sure
Yeah.
Bill would be too. I'm not trying to knock his sale, but I shouldn't have said anything, I guess. But yeah.
No, you're fine, JW. A little friendly competition never hurt anybody.
So
Bill cut you off at first. I thought he was going to just drop you out of there. That's what I would have done.
how's Matt doing? Are you driving, Matt?
Yeah, I'm on the road right now.
I need 2 double cheeseburgers. Think you can drop me off?
I got an empty trailer right now.
Oh, is that right?
And he's got plenty of room for cheeseburgers, Charlie.
That's
Where
what he
you at,
drives.
Matt?
He's driving a McDonald's truck.
I'm in Western New York. Just left Elmira, New York.
Okay.
I'm gonna check back out, boys. I just come on to tell Mark that because I'm just sure that's what you're interested in. Why he'll accommodate you. See y'all
I
later.
appreciate it. Appreciate it,
Good
JW.
night,
Yep,
Good night
see y'all.
JW.
That's a good price, Bill, you got on that 40 framer. How
Yeah,
wide is
like I
that
said,
thing?
It was a wrong order. And we took it back, and the guy never used it. and it sat in the warehouse for a little bit. And we were trying to figure out what to do with it, and we figured we were going to sell it. So, you know,
And what brand is it?
Simon,
Yeah, I'm
How
driving.
wide? How wide is it?
I got
Excuse
a,
me.
it won't go through a 36-inch door, so I'm going to say it's probably every bit of 40 inches wide.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
So you want to buy it, Matt?
oh, I want to buy what?
The 42-inch extractor. 42
How much?
frame.
No, I don't need nothing that big.
That's what everybody tells me. They don't need it.
I hope to need one that big one day, but not yet.
I've got a maxing it frame that I can barely get through a door. So Matt, how's your day been?
My day's been pretty good. It's cold today.
Yes.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been a good day.
Yep.
You run into any snow up there, Matt?
You know, it's hit or miss up here. You go to one county and they got 4 feet. You go to the other county, they got nothing.
Yeah.
So it's all that lake effect. Just lake effect.
Yeah, I
snow
used to
dumps
drive
in
for a
one area.
company up there out of Oswego, New York. And they get that lake effect snow up there, and I'd have to go pick up a trailer or something, and it'd be 4 foot of snow up there.
Yep. Yeah, today I didn't run into any of it.
Yeah. That's a little college town up by the lake.
Yep.
Yeah, I know where Oswego is.
Yeah. I don't mind that part of New York. It's the city I don't want to go in anymore.
Yeah, I don't blame you there.
I've done my share of that. Yeah, I can't count how many times I've been to Hunts Point out there. Yeah, that's a nightmare.
Yeah, me and my wife always we keep debating if we want to leave the state or not because the taxes are so high up here and there's so much regulation. But you know, this is where our family is, and it's hard to leave family.
Right, I understand.
What part of New York do you live in, Matt?
I live in a town called Hamlin, New York, which is it's in between Rochester, New York, and Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
Good.
I'll tell you what, once you get over there in that eastern part, across I guess that's the top of the Appalachian up there. It's pretty through that area. And Amherst and through there. That's beautiful country.
Yeah, it is.
I went up there with my son. He wanted to go to a school in Rochester, so we went and visited. But it kind of seemed to me like it reminded me of the Delta of North Louisiana. It was pretty flat and a lot of farmland through there.
Yeah, it is pretty flat up. Yeah, it is pretty flat up north. But as soon as you go south a little bit, then the hills start.
Yeah. We drove from Rochester up over. We had to go see Niagara Falls since we were that close.
Oh yeah, you got
So
to.
we drove across it. That was in the middle of winter. They were basically not frozen, but there was a lot of ice.
I got over in Connecticut one time, and I know that's not a very big place, but I got lost up there one night and ended up on a big old mountain somewhere. And I couldn't tell you where I was. I didn't know there was mountains that big up there.
I was going to say, I didn't know there were mountains in Connecticut.
I didn't either. I may have come out of the state. I don't know. I drove for hours to get out of there.
I don't know. You could drive for hours and still be in Connecticut.
Yeah, you blink and you miss it.
So let me run by you guys what my winter setup is for my hives. So I run double deeps, and I got 8 frames and 10 frame equipment. And for my insulation, I have no top entrance. And for my insulation, I have Reflectex, my inner cover, another layer of Reflectex, and then I have a 1-inch shim that has fondant, and then I have a 1-inch polystyrene board on top of that, and then a telescoping cover on top of that. Did you guys follow that?
Yeah.
I got a little confused when you said you have 2 layers of Reflectex below the fondant.
Yeah, I do. I have the Reflectex basically sandwiching my inner cover. So I tried to turn my inner cover into like an insulated inner cover.
Okay, then there's a hole in the middle of it, obviously, to get up through the fondant.
Yeah.
It's just me, but I'm of the opinion that hole in the middle lets most of that heat out.
Yeah, I would want that fondant right on top of them beads.
You think so? You think
What I was
the shim should be below the inner cover?
I think,
Yes.
yeah, to me it would be. And then put all the insulation and plug that hole in the middle.
Put that fondant right on top of them bees where they ain't got to move far to get to it.
Now here, I'm telling you that, but I don't have to worry about the winters you have, where you got nothing like
Yeah.
that here.
Yeah. I mean that's what I did last
I'm
year.
no expert.
Yeah.
Have on your inner cover, is there any slight rim around that at all? Or is it
Yeah,
just-
there's a small rim, maybe 3/8, if that.
yeah,
I
'cause
would do away with the inner cover if it was me. Just do away with it.
Something's got to hold his insulation up, right? Is your insulation as wide as your box, or is it as
Yeah.
wide as the opening?
What's that?
Is the insulation as wide as the box?
Box.
Yes.
Because then it won't fall down on the bees. That can still work.
No.
Yeah, put that above the shim. I agree with Mark on that. I would go ahead and throw that Reflectex on top of the shim too, though, just to add that little bit, reflect that heat
Yeah.
back down.
Yeah.
That inner cover will hold that Reflectex up and keep it from blowing in the middle and dripping. That's one good thing about that. If it bows in the middle, then the condensation is going to drip in the middle, right down on the
Yeah.
bead.
That's a good point. And I've often wondered if that Reflectex, because it's kind of got that metallic coating, if it's extending out to the edge of your box, does that actually create kind of a conduction?
Yeah, it
Cold
brings
air.
cold air into the hive, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
could be like a piece of metal, how that transmits it.
I tried it once, and my bees were wetter than it would be if I didn't use anything. So I just quit putting any insulation on. Where I'm at, it don't get very cold. I'm in Tennessee, so it don't get that cold.
I have insulation on mine, but it's for the summer, not for the winter.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounds like to
Yeah.
me that if I was doing it and you were gonna put fondant on it, which to me is more for emergency feeding than normal feeding, but that's up to you all. I'd put it on the frames like Mark says. I would put a shim. The shim would probably be 1.5 inches, maybe 2. And then I would put Reflectex on there acting as the inner cover. And then your 1.5 inch polystyrene insulation, and then put your telly on top of that. Now, the way I got mine right now is I got an inner cover. I closed the hole up on the inner cover with a piece of wood, and I put the 1.5 inch insulation on top of that and put the lid on top of that, and that's it. But I'm not feeding fondant. They got plenty of sugar. Plenty of sugar
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, I got the idea to put the fondant above the inner cover, when I was listening to Fred Dunn. And
Well, the
that's
problem of
what
it
he
is, problem of it is you're trying to get the bees to come up out of a nice warm area into a cold area, and that just really doesn't work.
No.
Yeah. If you've got that shim, you got your fondant sitting in a shim and everything on top of that. You got a heat dome right there, an 1.5 to 2 inch heat dome. All them bees are gonna come right up in that and eat that fondant.
Yep.
It's an air pocket there. And it's gonna be warm.
Yeah, I guess I just I wasn't sure when I have to change the fondant out if I should, open it up in the middle of winters up here, because I don't think one pack of fondant is gonna, they'll probably eat that.
Well, how? I mean, you've fed them up, I guess, with sugar water, right? I know you've
Yeah,
been doing.
I've been feeding with gallon freezer bags, and I fed them probably 3-4 gallons each of 2 to 1.
Yeah.
And that top deep in the double deep was full of honey every frame.
Every frame. All right. Well, then now see, that's what I'm getting at. If you got 10 frames of 10 deep frames of honey, you don't need a piece of fondant on there right now.
No.
You
That-
wouldn't
you-
need fondant until middle to end of January.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna eat that fondant and not touch the honey, and then come spring they're not gonna have nowhere to lay.
Yep.
Okay.
You
I
want
was
them to
always
eat the
told-
honey and then eat the fondant.
Okay.
Yeah, you take
I was always
use that fondant as your emergency feed somewhere's let's say the 1st of February. When you're getting kind of close, that's when you go in there and you get a nice warm 48-degree day or 50-degree day, and you check the frames up in the top to see whether they've ate all of it. You might want to bring some outer frames that are full of honey to the center, and let it, let's say you got 2 open frames for brood, and then you put some honey next door to them so they don't have to move so far.
Yeah.
And then I would I'd put the inner cover on there, close that hole up with a piece of wood or piece of cardboard or something, because right now I put them little pieces of wood on mine. They've already glued them down. You can't even take them off of there. And then I put insulation on top of that, and then put my inner cover on and all. But let them eat that honey that you put in there first, that sugar water.
Yeah, I was always told that they have to weigh 100 and something pounds up here, and I figured one deep box is only like 80 pounds, so I thought they were light. That's why I was feeding fondant.
Well,
But
I'm sure it is up in where you're at, but I would
Honestly, go ahead, Charlie.
Well, I was going to suggest next year to get a top high feeder or some kind of a feeder. And because I watched a Michael Palmer movie years ago, and with a baggie or a quart jar with holes in it, you're restricting the amount of sugar water that can go into that hive at one time. Where a top high feeder, and I don't know why people do this, but I say take the inner cover off and put the feeder right on top, so all them bees can come up into that thing. And instead of having 200 or 300 bees sucking sugar water down out of a quart jar, you're going to have 2,000 or 3,000 bees sucking sugar water down into that hive so fast that I call it they flip the switch where now they think about let's store it because they can't eat it fast enough. That's my thoughts of it. Go ahead,
But
Mike.
you're feeding baggies. You can do the same thing with baggies. It just depends on how many holes you poke in them baggies, is how fast they're going to consume it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll put slits in the bags, and they'll take 3/4 of a gallon in an afternoon in those
Yeah.
bags.
yeah, you can slow the rate down too, you know. So I mean, you got
Yeah.
control on a baggie like that.
The problem with the baggie is you got to go in there every day and put a new one in there.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to feed them heavy.
Well, the other thing you could do is when you get to the point of needing emergency food, you could use fondant one time and then a baggie and then fondant and a baggie, and they're getting a mixture of what they need to be able to digest everything and put it away if they want to put it away.
So, hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and check out. Hit the sack. I'm getting pretty tired. I got up too
Yeah.
early this morning.
We're kind of about a quarter after our time.
Yeah, we're a quarter after.
All right. Good night, everybody. Sorry I
Good
couldn't
night,
get involved in the chat.
Good night.
Good to
Good
see you,
night,
buddy.
Mike. Good night, Matt. All right. Talk to
Good
you later.
All right, I'm gonna back out of here. It's time for me to hit the sack too.
Yep.
Been a long day. Matt, it was good talking to you. Good luck up there, buddy.
Thank you, Mark.
I hope it all works out for you.
Appreciate it.
We'll see
All right,
y'all
now,
later.
Matt, I got Doug here. He's up in Saskatchewan. Of course, it's damn cold up there. Of course, it's kind
Yeah.
of like where you're at. 10 frame deep, full of honey. Have never seen it emptied in our winters. Of course,
Okay.
you know, like I say, if you're telling me you got 10 full frames that are of sugar water honey in there, you're good to go to January for sure.
Yeah.
You know, 1st February.
Yep.
That 1st February, I'd be poking around a little bit on a nice warmish day.
Yeah.
And look, check them frames. See how many of them you got left. And if you got a lot of empties in the center and fulls on the outside, I'd bring the fulls not dead center, but close to the center.
Yep.
Because that's where the bees are going to stovepipe up.
Yeah, they're going to
Chimneys.
cluster in the center.
Yeah. And that way it's close to them to get food.
Yep.
And I like say right now, if you already got that fondant on there, just put it on top of the frames, and maybe if you got a shim, and then put the inner cover on and put your insulation on.
Yep. And then
Because you got to remember something. If you're going to try to keep that as a condensing hive, that hot air is going to be up there. They're going to be upstairs where that hot air is, and they're going to attach themselves to whether it be insulation or an inner cover. And don't be like Bill Heschbeck, who talks about that. He told me when he first did it, he had pulled the insulation off. Well, there was 3 pounds of bees on that insulation, and it went out into a snowbank. Well, you know, he just made a huge mistake.
Yep.
So,
and also that in February, that time of year, you can think about, okay, I'm going to roll a pollen patty out for them and start getting them ready for spring.
well, that's just what Doug just said
Yep.
there. When they start brooding, that's when they start eating the shit out of the honey.
Yep.
And that's when you get the 1st of February, I think in your area, I think they're going to, they're probably starting brooding about middle of January, but not much. But February, they're probably ramping up a little bit.
Yeah.
You're going to have to kind of figure that out for yourself because of where you live at.
Yeah, that's kind of trial and error up there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You got more of a heavy winter than what we do.
Yeah. Because down here where
Yeah, I definitely
I'm
got
at-
a lot of learning to do.
Yeah, down here where I'm at, 1st February, I'm putting pollen patties on because I want my bees ready to go April 1st.
I'll put the pollen patties on in February because March, the darn maple trees will start to bloom, and that's the end of them wanting pollen patties. They want the
Yep.
real stuff.
They want the real stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's what
I put pollen patties.
right. I mean, when you're talking about learning, I mean, us giving you these key pointers, you take the same idea but apply it to your area, and you're ahead of the game.
Yeah, you are.
You
You'll
know, if
figure
you
out. You'll get used to your cycles and everything, your bee cycles and all that, and your bee calendar, and then you'll be able to make decisions based on that bee calendar, not your calendar.
You know, kind of one thing, I got a thing on my phone. It's called, and it's a free app. It's called Color Notes, and all it is it's like a scratch pad, you might call it, and it's either check off boxes or text. And I click text, and I name it Bee Yard, and then I'll go in there, and of course I can voice activate it where I put the date. And then I normally put the weather conditions. It's sunny and whatever, or it's raining, or not raining, but it'll say, let's say the temperature and sunny. And then I just put in there, this is what I done in the bee yard in general. Let's say right now, I vaporized all the nukes or all the hives, period. Or I vaporized all the hives. And the next day, like this year, I came back, checked the IPM boards, and I found one nuke and 5 10 framers that had a high mite drop, and I re-vaporized them that same day. Well, I can go back that in a year and read my notes, and I've got it for several years. And it kind of gives you, well, what did I do this time last year? And it gives you, it helps you out. You know, you're helping yourself out.
Yeah, that definitely sounds useful. I definitely have a lot to learn. You know, I've only been keeping bees for 2 seasons.
Well, you're
And
coming along.
yeah, I feel like I've done pretty good so far. Trying to grow my apiary for sure. I want to go to 5 hives to 10 this year.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Well, it's just like I have another club. It's a face, or what do you call it? A Zoom meeting that I go to, and I don't know, the people in that meeting area. Number one, they don't ask a whole lot of questions. They are not participating in the chat, and I got one guy that I think could be a good beekeeper, and I don't know what it is. It's like there's this group of beekeepers. They want to do, I'll say, the minimum for their bees, and that's as far as they want to take it. And it's like, don't you want to, do the best for your bees and let them make the most honey for you? And if you want to grow, you grow. And it's just a different attitude towards bees.
Yeah,
I invite him to my thing. I said, look, if anything, listen to what we're talking about, or ask questions and take away some nuggets of information. And, he came in one time, he told me, I didn't know he was in, and he stayed for a few minutes and left. And I'm like, it's like, maybe the information is over top of his head. I don't know. It just, it's
yeah.
weird.
Let me tell you a story. My daughter was invited to a football game, a Buffalo Bills game, and by this boy. So I went with her, with the boy's dad. My daughter's, she's 13 years old. So I went with her, and I found out that this boy's dad was a beekeeper. And so I said, oh, this is great. We're got a 2-hour drive, and I have someone to talk bees with for 2 hours. So I get in there, and I said, so you're a beekeeper? He said, yeah. And so I start asking him about his management and what kind of bees he has. And he has no idea. He just says, I don't know. I keep bees in a box.
He's a bee haver is what he is.
Yep.
That's all he is. He's a bee haver. He's not a beekeeper.
Man, I was so disappointed. I was like, I thought I was going to talk bees for 2 hours, but I guess not.
No. He was going to learn more off of you than you off of him, because
Yeah.
you got the determination to want to try to suck in all as much information you possibly can. And you want to grow and maybe you do the point where you can sell honey and whatever and make your money back, break even, make some extra money on the side and everything.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's almost 10:30. Are you ready to quit tonight, Bill?
Yep, I'm ready to go. I got to get up early in the morning,
I do too.
get some stuff done. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Back on Monday nights till the next holiday. We'll be here the 23rd of December. And I'll be doing a quick live from Nobby the day we set our booth up. So I'll try to be the first one to get the video out down there. So,
We're gonna get
y'all
out there.
have a good evening. Have a good week. We'll see you Friday night on Charlie's.
All right. We'll see y'all later. Matt, you
Bye,
can
everybody.
just
Night,
hang there
Matt.
for a minute.